Ellie marries a man in coma and then discovers that the marriage was a plot against her. Why did Ellie marry a man in a coma? Will her boyfriend forgive her? Why didn't her husband divorce her? In the sterile corridors of the hospital, Ellie stands at a crossroads of impossible choices. Her father's life hangs by a fragile thread, while the relentless bills circle like vultures. Bethany, her calculating stepmother, whispers a dark proposition. Marry Wayne, a young, wealthy man now in a coma, and to produce an heir for his family in exchange receive $5 million to save her father. The desperate deal leaves Ellie torn, but she agrees, driven by love for her father. On her wedding day, Ellie discovers a heart-wrenching truth. Her boyfriend, Roger, had deceived her. To her dismay, Roger is entangled with her own half-sister, Sasha. Roger had promised to marry Ellie after producing Wayne's heir and divorcing him. Roger had also promised to accept her child as his own. Ellie's heart shatters, but she goes through with the marriage, signing the papers that seal her fate. Ellie exchanges vows with Wayne, who lies in a coma, a mere specter of the man he once was. She can't help but wonder about the life he had before the accident and the dreams he may never realize. Her marriage is a loveless union forged out of necessity. Wayne's imposing mother demands Ellie's compliance with the family's aristocratic standards and insists on her undergoing artificial insemination to secure an heir. Ellie finds herself entangled in a web of duty, deception, and destiny. Alone with her comatose husband, Ellie finds herself pouring out her heart, revealing her reasons for marrying him and her hopes for his recovery. She starts to talk to Wayne as if he were awake, beginning to accept him as her husband. A sudden urge to kiss him overwhelms her, and as their lips meet, Wayne awakens from his coma. Wayne, disoriented and surprised by Ellie's presence, doesn't recognize her. His mother enters the room, overjoyed by his awakening. The doctors inform them that Wayne's legs will take time to heal, leaving him wheelchair-bound. Wayne refuses to accept that his mother has orchestrated his marriage, especially when he was in a coma. Ellie's heart breaks as Wayne rejects their union. Wayne's mother, desperate to protect the family's reputation, persuades him to honor the marriage. In his sleek, glass-walled office, Wayne bore the heavy weight of responsibilities that came with being the CEO of his family's empire. The board of directors had become increasingly demanding, scrutinizing his personal life relentlessly. He resolves not to divorce Ellie until he regains his strength and is reinstated as CEO. Meanwhile, Ellie visits her father in the hospital, knowing his final moments were drawing near. In his frail voice, he entrusted her with a small pen drive containing his life's work, an AI prototype with world-changing potential, yet equally dangerous in the wrong hands. Tears welled in Ellie's eyes as she clutched the precious pen drive. "I promise, Dad," she whispered to the fading echoes of his voice, sealing her commitment to protect his legacy. Ellie stands in the hospital corridor, grief threatening to consume her. In this dark moment, Wayne arrives, a silent pillar of support. He is a solace for Ellie as she grapples with her father's loss. In an attempt to bring some light into their lives, Wayne takes Ellie on a romantic dinner date. Amidst the soft glow of candlelight, he expresses his gratitude for her support during his most trying times. With a radiant diamond ring in hand, Wayne makes their arrangement official, asking Ellie to be his wife until, as they grow closer, their feelings for each other evolve, and love flourishes in unexpected places. However, shadows continue to haunt them. Ralph, Ellie's father's company's lawyer, approaches her with disturbing revelations. Money has vanished from her father's company from an untraceable account which was linked to Bethany, Ellie's stepmother. Payments to the hospital where Ellie's father was declared deceased also led back to Bethany. Ralph presses Ellie for information about the AI prototype, but she denies any knowledge of it. Her father's secret weighs heavily on her, but she is determined to protect his legacy. As Ellie leaves Ralph's office, she overhears his conversation on the phone. Her heart races as she hears Ralph say,
"Ellie didn't reveal anything about the prototype, Mr. Wayne."
Ellie returns to Wayne's mansion, her heart heavy with questions and doubts. She needs answers. and Wayne is her only source. In the dimly lit living room, she confronts him, her eyes searching his for the truth. Wayne, his face etched with a mix of guilt and determination, admits, "I knew Ralph from before all this, Ellie. There's an explanation for everything, but please let me explain." He begins to unravel the complex web of events that have led them to this point. Ellie listens, her emotions a tumultuous sea. But as Wayne tries to answer her questions, she can't help but ask the one that has been gnawing at her heart. "Did you ever love me, Wayne? Or was this all just to get to the prototype?" Before Wayne can respond, a frantic call interrupts their conversation. It's news that Wayne's mother has fainted, and he has to rush to her side. Ellie, feeling overwhelmed and abandoned, makes a difficult decision. She leaves the mansion and seeks refuge at her friend Sophie's house. As Ellie seeks solace with her friend, her world unravels even further. Nausea overcomes her, and Sophie gently suggests she take a pregnancy test. To Ellie's shock, the test reveals that she is pregnant. Confused and struggling to process everything that has transpired, Ellie ignores Wayne's persistent calls. But Wayne isn't ready to let her go without a fight. He appears at Sophie's doorstep, his desperation palpable. Wayne implores Ellie to listen to him, to hear his side of the story. With tears in his eyes, he begins to piece together the puzzle for her. He reveals that he has known Ralph for a long time, and that he had approached her father for a collaboration on an AI prototype. Her father had been passionate about using AI for the betterment of society, and they had joined forces. He never used her to get to the prototype, as when he woke up from the coma, he didn't know he was married to the same person's daughter. Wayne had kept this information from Ellie to protect her from potential danger. Wayne reaches out to hold Ellie, pleading for her to come back, to give their relationship another chance. Torn and in need of time to process, Ellie pleads for space. Wayne leaves Sophie's house, heartbroken. A few days later, Ellie is kidnapped. She awakens in an unfamiliar, dimly lit place, an old factory. Standing menacingly nearby is Ralph, the confidant she had once trusted. Ralph calls Wayne to the factory. Ralph makes a sinister demand, putting Wayne in an impossible situation: the prototype or Ellie's life. Wayne, trembling with desperation, implores Ellie to choose life. The room grows tense as Ralph brandishes a gun, taking aim at Ellie. She remains resolute, refusing to give in to his threats. Just as Ralph prepares to pull the trigger, Wayne bursts in, risking everything to save Ellie from her captor. Ralph fires the gun. In a selfless act of love, Wayne places himself between the bullet and Ellie. Wayne is shot and blood spills from the wound. Ralph, seizing the opportunity, flees from the scene. Panic engulfs Ellie as she cries out for help. The police and ambulance arrive just in time. Doctors work tirelessly to remove the bullet, and through a miraculous turn of events, Wayne survives. Ellie's prayers have been answered. With their love tested and proven, they both confess their deep affection for each other. Ellie tearfully reveals that she is pregnant, and Wayne is elated. They decide together to honor her father's dream and their shared vision for the betterment of society by launching the AI prototype, offering it freely to the world. Ellie and Wayne found their truest happily ever after with each other and their baby. To watch more such stories, subscribe to our channel, Choose Stories.